So listen guys, if you are tired of inconsistent results in your life and you want a change, you want a breakthrough, then listen up, because this can quite frankly change your life, okay? What I'm about to tell you is one of the laws of nature, and it is cause and effect, okay? It is a law. So let me explain to you how this works, right? Every action in life has a reaction. That is one of Newton's laws, right? It's an actual law. So how this basically works, right, is you need to start looking at what is being inputted from your life, right? What are the inputs? Because the inputs create the outputs, right? And so if we want to change our outputs, see, most people when it comes to goal setting, they're looking at outputs, right? And they're trying to set their goals on outputs. So they're trying to say, I want to make X amount of money. I want to, I want to drive X car, or I want to do this and that. I want to have X home, right? Or whatever. But that is not like any kind of action, right? And so the best way to set goals is you want to set the goal based on actions, not based on outcomes, right? Because a reaction only comes from an action, right? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction, okay? So, like, listen to that line, okay? It's not for every reaction, there is a action. Like, no, that's not how they say it. It's for every action, there is a reaction, okay? So we want to start with the action, not with the reaction, okay? We don't want to set the goal on something that we're going to do from the reaction of that. Like, that's not how it works, right? So what I want you to start looking at is, what actions are you actually focused on taking? Because here's the thing, right? The most productive people on earth, right? And I would say Elon Musk is probably the most productive person on earth, right? Not only because he has the most financial wealth, but also because he probably has the most cause happening in the world. Thus, he gets the most effect happening in his life, right? And it's really the game of business is so powerful because it's not about the actions you take with your own hands. It's how much of the action, how much of the cause do you own, right? And so that's in the form of equity. It's in the form of what is related to you, what ties back to you, right? What is in your name? And that's really cool, right? That's really awesome because it makes things interesting, because you can compound cause based on forms of leverage, right? You can compound cause based on other people's actions, which is really cool, right? But yeah, basically, it's the accumulation of cause that adds up to the total effect that you can create, okay? And it can be combined, it can be compounded, it can be multiplied, and that's really awesome, okay? But I want you to take a look today. What cause are you currently putting out there? If you're not making the progress that you want to be making, if you're not succeeding at the rate that you want to be succeeding, now, number one, maybe that's just too high of an expectation you're putting on yourself. In that case, chill out, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, you can probably be doing more, okay? And the fact that you're not satisfied, number one, could be a unhealthy expectation, but number two, it could be reality. Because there's no doubt, okay? There's no doubt if Elon Musk can create hundreds of billions of dollars, and if he can create AI cars and, spaceships and things floating in space, then no doubt you and I could probably be doing more, right? We could probably be doing more. So I want you today to take a look at what actions are you currently taking? What is it that you want to achieve? And what are you doing to make that happen? Because most of the time, we don't have our finger on the pulse. We take our finger off the pulse and we don't actually look at what are we doing with our time? What inputs are we creating? Because I can guarantee you, according to the law of cause and effect, what you put in, you will and have to get out. You have to get out, okay? If you, I want to give an example here, right? But basically, if you, let's make a bad example, which is if you go into a club right, into a bar at 1 a.m. and you go and punch someone who is, drinking, that's your cause. You're going and punching someone in the face, and then not only are you doing that, so let's say you go and do that, right? You punch someone in the face. What are we expecting should be the effect? We'll probably expect, likely to happen, is that person will be upset, right? Most likely. Now, there is a chance that that person is very, very calm inside, right? And they just have so much peace and serenity within themselves, and they just have so much emotional control that they don't get upset, right? They're just like, hey brother, no problem. Now let's say we take that strategy and we multiply it by 10. We now hit 10 different bars in the same evening, okay? And we walk into every single bar and we just punch one person in the face who is drinking a beer, okay? And we do that 10 times over. The question is, what is the likelihood of one of those people being upset? Pretty high, right? And so that is a weird example of cause and effect because it's an obvious one, right? I'm trying to give you a brutally obvious example of like, if we were to take those actions, you can pretty confidently in your mind right now know with certainty that you're probably not going to get a happy result from that. It's probably going to be pretty brutal. You're probably going to get like punched back in the face, or someone's probably going to try and attack you or something, right? So again, it's a confident example of what probably should happen, right? Now, if we reverse that into something positive, right? There's a lot of positive things that you can be taking action on, productive things, other than punching people in the face, that will actually create the results that you want, right? So I just reverse engineered that for a real brutal example for you. But I hope that lesson runs home, right? Which is now, if we were to turn it into a sales example, it's like, well, if you were to, call 100 people who have the job description that you're looking to work with, and let's say 20 of them pick up the phone and you can speak to 20 of them, right? Even if you suck, if you just tell them what you do and like that you want to help them, what are the odds that one of them might say, okay, I might have some time to speak to you, right? Let's book a time in the calendar. Now, let's say you just totally like blow it, right? Well, let's say we don't do 100, let's say we call 1,000 people and 200 of them pick up the phone. And you tell 200 of them, I do this and I think I can help you too. I want to solve your problem. Now we times by 10. We did that on 1,000 calls, right? What are the odds that someone might bite and say, yeah, okay, I want growth, right? If you offer 200 people growth, do you think one might say yes? Now let's say even those don't happen. And let's say you times by 10, and you do 10,000 calls, and you speak to 2,000 people one-on-one, and you tell every single one of those 2,000 people, I think I can help you solve your problem, whatever their problem is, What do you think are the odds that that something won't happen from that? If you put enough cause into the universe, guys, this is energy, okay? And this moves over into like the discussion about frequencies. I'm going to put this in another video, but basically, this has to do with energy and frequency. All of this stuff, okay? Intentions, intent, okay? Ideas, thoughts, all of that stuff I just mentioned, they are all a frequency. It's energy. It's invisible rays that like move around constantly, and there are trillions and quintillions of them running around you right now, okay? You just can't see them. And so that's why there is that hierarchy of frequencies, right? And when you step into a new frequency, essentially it's not some woo-woo manifestation stuff. Like, this is the real stuff, guys. Right? If I come onto the video and I'm talking very bland, right? It's one form of energy. But if I come in and I just give you the energy to go and do what you need to do, you're going to have a different effect, right? Why? Because you're getting that energy within you, right? It's that frequency. And so when you can convey that frequency to the rest of the world, to the universe, right? What's going to happen is, by the law of cause and effect, the universe has to respond. It has to respond. Why? Because for every action, there has to be a reaction. There has to be a reaction. It has to happen. It is impossible for there not to be a reaction. The only reason you're not getting the results you want to is one of two reasons. Number one, you're not taking the correct actions, in which case, evaluate for yourself, are you taking the right actions, and then start taking them. Identify what the correct actions are and start taking them. Or option two is, it's too small of a sample size and you're just quitting too soon. In which case, stop quitting so soon and just do 10 times more. And if you do both of those things, I can almost guarantee you that you can achieve anything you want to achieve. And if you are not where you want to be right now, you can absolutely make it happen by, number one, identifying what do you need to do to get there. And then number two, let's take whatever actions those are and times it by 10 so we can do a large enough sample size. It's called statistical significance, okay? Which I would almost say is another law. And it is almost impossible for you to fail. The only way you can fail is if you just don't do it. That's it. So guys, I hope this was productive for you. Please always keep in mind the law of cause and effect, okay? And if you do this, it is very difficult for you to not reach your goals. And this is why they also say that 80% of success is mindset. Because the actions are simple, but it's sticking to those actions which is the difficult part. Because due to the law of cause and effect, if you take the actions, you have to reap the results, okay? But the most difficult thing is continuing to do it without seeing the results immediately. That's the only reason you won't see the results, is because you're waiting for it to happen immediately. You need instant gratification, and you're not able to delay gratification, right? But that doesn't mean that the law doesn't work. It does. You're just not patient enough, or not taking the right actions. So hopefully that helped. Crush today, guys. If you need one-on-one help, then the link is in the description. And let's get you to where you need to be, man. Sometimes we just need someone holding our hand and dragging us across the finish line. I'm kidding, but sometimes we need someone to kick us in the ass, right? And get us thinking the right way, because it's very difficult to do that alone. So yeah, feel free to hit the link in the description and sign up for some coaching, man. Let's get you to where you need to be. And other than that, crush the day, man. Crush the day. And I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Cheers.